This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the Mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, everybody, what's happening? It is Thursday, although we have said it kind of feels like Friday around here. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios, Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man. And we got a lot we want to get to today. We'll get back to Tatis. We'll get to the Padres. By the way, guys, you'll love this. You ready? A buddy of mine calls me yesterday and he goes, hey, tomorrow night, Padre game. Let's go. And these are the front row right behind me.
Ooh.
Yeah, for tonight's game.
And?
Can't go.
Why?
Can't do it. I've got a commitment. I'm already committed. I can't do it. I can't change my plans.
What?
I wish I could.
What's your commitment?
I got to go to LA. Yeah, I got to work. I got to actually, like, my job is calling, you know?
East Side Cap?
East Side Cap in the house. That's right.
East Side.
Yep. I know. Tonight,
Tonight, you should be there wearing a Pay That Man shirt because it is Joe Musgrove bobblehead night.
Oh, damn. Should be there.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Put that bobblehead right to your right elbow right there, the little black part of your table.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. But no.
Well, shout out to my boy, JJ. Hey, Jay, thanks for the invite. Gosh darn it, man. I'm really this whole work thing sucks, man. You know?
Is it part of your contract now where you have to go to LA like once a week?
X amount of times?
Yeah, I'm supposed to be in LA theoretically 2 times a week. But I'm just nobody's like enforcing it per se, but once this week and then twice next week. You know,
so
and both times.
Do they give you hotel money?
No.
And gas money? East
no.
Side. You need to. Who's your agent? East Side that didn't work this in that Big Brad? What's the problem, baby?
No, it's not like that. You know what it really is like? It's not like, hey, we hired somebody from Kansas City and we're moving that person to LA. They hired somebody from San Diego and they're like, well, hey, you know, you're under 100 miles. That's on you, pal.
It's just like 73 miles, right?
Yeah, so anyway, it's all
5
good.
hours of traffic.
You need to get on that Kylie Jenner plan, man.
Yeah, man.
I know. Well, next week I'm going to stay up there. I do have, this is where my best buddy from high school, I've talked about this on the air. My best pal from high school grew up dirt poor, moved to LA, and first couple of years it was a struggle. And then all of a sudden, boom, he hit it huge. I mean, huge, out of the park, knocked it out, made ultra wealthy money. The kind of money that now you fly on private jets, the kind of money that you fly your dog on a private jet by himself to get him to where he's going because you won't put him on a commercial airliner and you got no other way to get him there. I mean, that's crazy ass FU money. That's exactly right. So he had this mansion in Beverly Hills and the place was awesome. I stayed there all the damn time. Hey, you in town? No, great. Alex, just like your pal. Mm-hmm. Great. I'm coming. I'm going to use your place. No problem. Have at it. Doors open. It's behind a gate. You know, I told him the other day, I'm like, you screwed me, man. By moving out of Beverly Hills and moving to Boca Raton, you freaking screwed me, bro.
How close are you guys still?
I mean, we talk daily.
If he has that kind of like crazy FU money, just tell him to get you a little spot downtown LA.
Oh, that's not a bad call. Yeah, he don't do that. He not like that.
Get him himself a spot in downtown LA.
No, that's not a terrible idea. Hey, why don't you buy a little place in downtown LA?
Yeah, there's a bunch of places with helicopter landing pads on the roof.
Yeah, right. And there's a lot of hotels downtown that have residences up top.
Oh yeah.
You know, maybe like a nice high-rise building, you know, with a helipad.
A little 2-bedroom. You know, you agree to, you know, keep it clean and store, you know, store
would he require you to refill the refrigerator?
I would think that's the least Scott could do.
Yeah, I mean, it'd just be
a couple bottles of Fiji in there, no big deal, you know?
Right. And I could just have the doorman do it, I'm sure. Is there a doorman? I don't know if there is or not.
There is in our imagination, there is.
Yes.
In my imagination. Right. There's valet, there's doorman, you know, there's security, there's elevators that work promptly.
Yeah.
And
car elevator.
I remember the last time I went to LA, it was like before COVID, I stayed in LA. I got this like high-rise Airbnb that looked down at Staples Center. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
You know what you should tell him to do? Get a loft like in New Girl.
I'm not watching New Girl, although my daughters all are. So
that is
you and them are
that is the most BS loft of all time in the history of television.
Correction.
Wait, you're
The
watching New Girl
greatest
too?
loft in the history of
Because
all time.
Friends was bad too, but New Girl takes the idea of size and cost to what these people do for a living to a whole different level.
Oh
because
you gotta suspend it.
Yeah.
You gotta suspend your mind like a sci-fi movie.
Yeah. I've seen New Girl, Scott. Yes, I've seen
Let me
New
get this
Girl
straight.
beginning
You
to
guys
end.
are watching New Girl. I'm watching
I've seen
Hard
every
Knocks.
episode of New Girl.
Yeah,
and
not
I'm watching
watching
Legacy.
Episode.
Not watching, watched.
Yes, it's over.
So
I'm watching sports documentaries, and you guys are watching like little girl shows.
It's not a little girl show.
I mean, you could frame it that way, but
is it not? No, because
sure.
it's all my daughters are watching it, so I just assumed it was some little girl show. Not the case.
Your girls aren't little no more. They're grown women
They're
off
women.
in college.
They're
yeah,
women.
that's true. Yeah.
So we're watching college women shows.
Well, it's funny because my
old man.
because last night my daughter, I picked her up from field hockey practice. It was like 8:00 at night. We get home, we're gonna have dinner. She goes, "Dad, I'm gonna turn on New Girl." I go, "No, hold on. I'm watching Hard Knocks right now because I need to see this. It's
there
getting
only
late."
one TV in the house?
No, it's just that we were gonna eat dinner together and watch TV together. And there's actually there's really only 2 TVs in the house. There's a third one that's a monitor on the wall. It doesn't have TV. It has all streaming services. We don't have nearly the amount of TVs we used to have.
Yeah.
Back in the day, man, there'd be like 6, 7 TVs in the house.
Come to this house, dude.
Yeah, what's he got?
75 inches everywhere.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah, I was gonna do the show from. He has a gaming room, and I was gonna go do the show from there, but there's no lights in there. It's just like these blue LED lights. So I would have looked like I was like frozen in ice or something.
I like that behind you on the television monitor that at your friend's place. You've got us on.
Yeah, I didn't bring my USB stick with the photo of the logo, so I was like,
yeah.
And I'm tired of dealing with the screensaver, so I just hit play.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it. I'm actually a little distracted. I'm kind of watching us over your left shoulder.
Yeah, I know.
It's good.
There we are. Good looking.
Dude, speaking of Hard Knocks, I know there's way more important things to talk about, I guess. But I explained to you the phenomenon of getting hard knocked in fantasy football. Every single year.
Oh, right.
They highlight someone, and you're like, this guy's going to be a stud. Mm-hmm. This is the guy. I thought they were going to do it with Jamal Williams. Episode 2, they got me, dog.
Yeah.
They got me so good.
Is it the receiver from USC?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that guy.
He was a standout breakout player last year. I think he ended up almost with 1,000 yards. Mm-hmm. And he was really good for where he was drafted. If he was even drafted, I think he was.
I think he was drafted in the 6th round because there's
but I'm saying fantasy football.
Oh, okay. Because do you remember that part in Hard Knocks where he went
named
through
all 18 or 16 receivers?
Unbelievable. He told you what round, who the player was, where they went to college. He went through every. Oh, you guys have seen Hard Knocks episode 2. I thought I was like super cool.
No,
I was ahead of you guys.
I've seen this.
No, I
refuse to watch the Lions.
Episode 2. I just don't come on here and need to show you my manly viewing things.
Okay.
Shout out to New Girl.
It's just sports documentaries.
Yeah,
I watched it, and that was incredible. And the way he did it wasn't like, let me show off what I could do. Like Sean McVay, they're like, hey, 3rd and 11 against the Bengals in the 2nd quarter. And he goes, oh, whatever, trio. No, he doesn't do it all showboaty. He does it all pissed off. Like, yeah, I'm pissed that I was the 17th guy taken, and here's all the idiots taken before me.
Yeah, right. What's that kid's name?
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Say it one more time.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
He's got a brother that plays too.
Mm-hmm. Amon-Ra. Yeah, his brother plays. Does his brother play for the
Bears?
Yeah.
I did honestly get a Dance Mom vibes from his father, though.
Oh, I love his father.
Like, my kids are going to be buff. My kids are going to be strong. My kids are going to play football. And that's it. They have no choice.
if he would have had kids that were as big time in high school as the Ball brothers were, this guy could have been a LeVar Ball-esque kind of character. In fact, Alex, I'm going to throw a challenge your way. Mm-hmm. I think they're Southern California based, right? The kid went to SC.
USC, yeah.
And I think the dad was a former Mr. Universe bodybuilder, right? So what do you guys think? We should get this guy on. We should get the dad on the show. Because it's so funny. He's got these kids working
after
out. After
calling him a dance mom?
Yeah, well, we'll call him a trainer dad. I love how the boys don't talk to each other in the gym. Like 2 robots just working out like maniacs. And dad is like, hey, at home, I'm dad. In the gym, I'm the trainer. Do what I tell you to do. I was like, you go, dad. Hell to the yeah.
Hell to the yeah. I'm trying to find his father's name right now.
All right, I'm watching a whole bunch of this Deshaun Watson video that's being aired on NFL Network. And right behind him is my boy, Big Al. See, you're the other Big Al, Big Al. That's the original Big Al. That's the original Grande Alejandro. My man Alex Van Pelt. I'm just watching him in practice right now. I got my eye on him. Right behind Deshaun Watson.
Oh
So
my God, these names of his children.
this is what's the dude's name
Equi-
from the
Equinemius Tristan Imhotep J. St. Brown.
Okay, see, we got to get this guy. We got to get this dude on the show, man.
The middle child, I can say this one. Osiris Adrian Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Oh, yeah.
And the youngest, Amon-Ra Julian Heru J. St. Brown.
Nice names, man.
Wow, I really like the Equinemius Tristan Imhotep J. St. Brown.
It's not as good as that name from yesterday. The guy from the air conditioning company, the coldest Crawford.
Oh, that's a good one.
The coldest Crawford from Nebraska. That's my man.
Bro.
The coldest. That's right. I'm the coldest. He got a brother named the hottest. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
What, you imagine if they did have someone named
what, Browner? Yeah, let me introduce you to my twin boys. This is
got
the
a
coldest.
brother named
This is the hottest. Yeah. That's right.
Come
the
on,
coldest.
Man. Oh, come on, man. The dad's name's John. That's boring.
It's lame.
Obviously, he had to go deep when listen, as a John, it's rough. You're very common. So you make sure your kids never.
I'm an Alex, dude. I know it's about common.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Scott. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Equinemius Amon-Ra. That's awesome.
Amon-Ra is Amon-Ra is an African I think it's an African king.
Amon-Ra?
Yeah, let me.
We're gonna believe what Browner just said.
I don't know. Assalamu
right
alaikum, my brothers. Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway.
All right, listen. It is Thursday. It does feel like Friday. We are in the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. I do want to give a shout out for a minute here to my man Gary Cooper, Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty Services. Alex, I don't know if you can pull it off. The Sun God is what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Really? That's cool.
I wouldn't ask
Alex, I don't know
today, dude.
It's too much for you? All right, here's what I want everybody to do. Go to mountaintrustrualty.com. Make it real easy on yourself. Go to mountaintrustrualty.com and check out the house that Gary has an open house for this weekend. If you want a private showing, Gary's available to you right now, 858-376-1299. If you prefer to go to the open house this weekend, go for it. It's a house that I'm trying to see what the address is, Alex. I know you have it. We're watching it right now on the screen. This is 16305 Las Rosales Street in Rancho Bernardo. It's 92127. So 6 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, 2-car garage. I'm looking to see what the total square footage is. But as we're scrolling through the
3,029.
Yeah, it's a nice house. I mean, it's a really nice house. I don't know where it is exactly to know what the neighborhood deal is. Forest Ranch. I don't know why they call it Rancho Bernardo, but whatever. Forest Ranch is great. Great schools, really good shopping centers. That pool is beautiful. The view looks fantastic. The kitchen is out of control. I love that bright white stuff. So Gary's got I like the laundry room too, because that's a nice big laundry room. So
wait, go through these pictures again.
You like this house now, huh, Brown?
Go back a couple. Go back to the slide.
Oh my God, really? What are you looking for here? You like the kitchen? You like the pool out back with the slide?
Oh, there it is. Go back again.
Oh goodness,
okay, that's
really?
Not the house.
Oh,
that's not the house. All right.
What's
up with Browner today?
I don't know. MountainTrustRealty.com.
No, I used to live in Forest Ranch. I was making sure that wasn't the house.
Oh, really? All right.
God.
Call Gary Cooper, 858-376-1299. He's got this open house. He can make a private showing for you. This is a great looking place. So if you're in the market and you're looking and you're thinking about that neighborhood and that's fitting in your price zone, go for it. Man, when I was a kid, dude, I used to have this dream. One day I'm going to live in a $1 million house. And if I live in a $1 million house, I'm going to be so rich. I'm going to be so rich.
Bro, there's an episode of Entourage about that.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. When like Vinny, he goes to his accountant. His accountant's like, "Oh, you got to move out of this rental, but let's go buy you a house." This is 2006 or whatever. And the guy's like, "You got $1 million to buy a house," and he's like, "Guys, I got $1 million to buy a house." And they go around LA, and they're like, they show $1 million houses, and he's like, $1 million ain't what it used to be.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, when I grew up in Florida, there's this area called the Intercoastal Waterway. And my dad always had like a little boat. My dad was a fixer-upper kind of guy. So he didn't have a brand new, beautiful boat. My dad had an old boat that he made look good and run good. And so we had this little poor man's boat amongst all this wealth. And we would ride up and down the center coastline, look at all that's so-and-so's house. And that's the guy who owns the Dolphins house. And that's the guy who used to be in this movie. That's his house. And like, we would point out famous people and we'd go, oh man, I would love to live in a house like this. One day to live in a house that's $1 million. Now you're advertising houses at $2 million. And it's not like, hey guys, this isn't for everybody. This is, a $2 million house. People were like, okay, yeah, 2 million. Right. LA. Yeah. San Diego. Yeah, get it. Southern California. Right. 2 million. The sticker shock is gone on numbers like that, dude.
It is, yes. Unless it's like something crazy, for the most part, sticker shock doesn't exist on homes anymore.
Yeah, because I'll tell you right now, the same friend that I was complaining about that sold his mansion in Beverly Hills, moved back to Boca Raton, lives in that neighborhood that I said I would go up and down on the water and looking at these homes. And he bought a house down there for no joke. I'm like probably $12 to $15 million. That's ridiculous.
Dude, just Redfin, like walk around North Park, and if you see a nice house, 1.2, 1.3, and it's like
better. I'll do you better. See a not nice house.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, did you guys see? I last night, again, 10 o'clock at night, I'm going to bed. I decide I'm going to turn on local news for a second. 2 stories popped immediately for me. One, Dr. Seuss's house has been for sale in La Jolla. Did you guys know this?
No.
True story. Dr. Seuss's house in La Jolla was being sold in pretty much its original form for, I want to say, like $20 million.
What's its original form? That doesn't. Dr.
No,
Seuss's
what I mean is
original
like,
form house sounds.
What
funky.
I mean is like nothing's been updated.
It's like
in the
big
house.
old cats in there.
Right. It's like from the 60s or 50s or whatever it is. So you could Google this stuff, but the headline on the news was 2 famous Ted's homes for sale in San Diego. The first was Dr. Seuss. I guess his real name was Ted something.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Would you want that house or a brand new house that just got built? Because I don't want to live in Dr. Seuss's house. No disrespect to Dr. Seuss, but a lot of respect to Dr. Seuss. Yeah, I don't want your interior design, bro. I want something fresh. I want something new. I don't want
whoever's going to buy
the cat in the hat at the front door.
Yeah, I got it, because there's a lot of that in the house. It seemed
1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. I don't want that in the bathroom.
Yeah, but I think they said that for $20 million you could buy this house, but whoever's going to buy that house is going to buy it because A, they think it's cool that it was Dr. Seuss's, and B, they're probably going to do a whole bunch of renovating, but they'll try and maybe keep it close. Anyway, 2 famous Ted's homes for sale. One is Dr. Seuss, $20 million La Jolla. You guys will find this one interesting. Ted Williams, the home that Ted Williams grew up in. The house is for sale in North Park for $900,000.
I should go buy it.
So think about that. Ted Williams' house that he grew up in long before Ted Williams became, one of the greatest baseball players of all time. Ted Williams' house that he grew up in North Park for sale for 900 and something. I don't remember exactly what the number was, but it was under $1 million. So if you Google this, you'll find it. Ted Williams' childhood home for sale in North Park. That's probably a lot to Google.
I'm looking at a picture of Ted Williams' house, and that should not cost $900,000.
Yeah, it's a little shack.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
Yeah,
that's what I saw. Yeah, look at this on the KPBS website. How funny. Right. You can't even see that house. That tree's been there from before Ted Williams was born.
Now, Dr. Seuss's house.
Yeah, take a look at this thing.
Yeah.
That's a real
thing 1 and 2 right there.
Yeah. Look, Brown, cat in the hat stuff. See?
I knew it. No, I'm good,
bow
bro.
tie right there.
I'm good, bro.
What is that third picture? What is that?
That's
the cat in the hat bow tie.
Oh,
yeah, you can see. Whoa. Next picture. Go to the next picture.
Is that the park?
Take that down.
Is that the park where you're going to get it all cleaned up, Brownie?
Oh my God.
What?
Is that what's up? The Ted Williams Park. What's the deal?
Your sound went out. I can't hear you.
Woo! I saw something in that picture.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
What happened? You wouldn't know it if you saw it anyway. So
I would.
That's the whole point.
Let me see it.
So, next picture.
Why? Let me see the picture.
Ain't nothing in there for you, Scott.
There was a picture of Ted Williams Park.
Right.
What did I miss? All I saw was a
No.
sign that said Ted Williams Park. There was
Nobody
a baseball
here,
field behind it.
nobody here except nobody listening, watching, or anything would know what
That was
I'm
an
talking
inside
about,
joke.
except
Okay.
me and Browner.
Okay, an
That's
inside joke between you two guys. Okay.
Yeah. So
All right,
let's move on.
anybody want to let us in on it or no?
No.
Browner would probably murder me.
You guys
No.
suck, man.
No
Off
one
air,
will
we'll tell you.
All
Yeah.
right. All right, then
Yeah.
I'm telling everybody on air.
Please do.
All right. Alex said it best in the opening segment today. It feels like a Friday, even though it's a Thursday. It's been a fun week just because there's been so much good stuff to talk about, and we've been celebrating the 2-year anniversary of 1090. Jim Rome will join us coming up a little bit later on, as you know, the Jim Rome Show has returned to 1090. So that's awesome. Coming up, let's jump into a little bit of the Padres and what's going on there. I definitely want to get to a bunch of NFL stuff today, so stay tuned for that. We're going to have a lot of fun, which is kind of the game plan around here. Right? I think so. Okay.
Yeah.
So here goes. We'll get into some of this Padre stuff because I think a lot of people now are starting to realize how important Hassan Kim is at shortstop, especially with the whole Tatis disaster that's going on. We'll get there. Get to some more of this Deshaun Watson stuff. I definitely want to get into that a little bit more. Stay with us. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the Mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Rome comes home. Yes, I said it. You can now catch the Jim Rome Show Monday through Friday, noon until 3 p.m. on the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio. Back to San Diego, where it all started, on the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Let's welcome back to Main Street Living tax attorney Adam Brewer. Adam, thanks so much for joining us again.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
Now, it might seem weird that we're having you on because it's not necessarily tax season right now, but what are some things that viewers can do to get ahead of next tax season?
Yeah, you're right. I apologize. I think most people would prefer to just forget about taxes for the summer, but yeah, if you have some downtime, always a good opportunity to kind of get ahead for next season. So really what I'm preaching is, just become more knowledgeable about your taxes. Everyone come tax season can benefit from having a little more knowledge and just being a little bit less stressed about the whole process of getting their taxes filed and getting them paid. All this information is available online, but it's really a mess. So it just gets back to my first point, just start with your own taxes. And then if you need to dig in on one or two issues, it's just a Google search away.
Gotcha. Google search away now, let's just say someone is interested, like Danielle is interested in becoming more knowledgeable about her taxes. Like, how should someone like her get started?
Yeah. So Danielle, you're interested. You should start with, your last year's tax return. So I'd say get out your last year's return. Form 1040s, going to be the first page there. And really look and see what lines are populated. And then, make sure you understand those roles. So if you have dividend income and you see, what's a qualified dividend, go in and figure it out. Likewise, if you see anything that's missing. So, a lot of taxpayers now are paying a ton in student loan interest. And then they look at their tax return and they go like, whoa, that's limited to $2,500. That would be a role that you'd want to dig in and really figure out how it impacts your actual tax return. When in doubt, save for retirement. It's either, for most taxpayers, it's either going to save you money today, tax-wise, or it's going to help you reduce your tax burden in the future.
Awesome.
So important. Thank you. Thank you so much, Adam. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
Main streets are the heart of our communities, where we connect with our neighbors, support local businesses, and share new adventures. Main Street Living celebrates all of this, bringing you uplifting stories with guests from across the country and your community. Main Street Living covers what's important to you today, from our street to your street. Join Cheryl, Danielle, and Quincy for Main Street Living. Mondays at 9 on Your View.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the Mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
All right, great friends. We welcome you back inside the 7 Mile Casino Studios with Grande and the Brown Man. As promised, we've been celebrating our 2-year anniversary of being back on the radio on 1090. And Jim Rome jumps in because the Jim Rome show is back on 1090. It's kind of like a college football coach who should decide when he wants to retire. Jim Rome should be on the radio every day that Jim Rome wants to be on the radio. And Romey is back. Hey, Jim, how are you today?
My man, that's what I like to hear. Finally, somebody who understands my plight. I like that. I agree with that. I appreciate that. Dude, happy second anniversary. What are we doing to celebrate our second anniversary? What is that, gold? Copper, tinfoil. What is that?
We're not sure because we've been thinking, you celebrate a 1-year anniversary. Hey, great. We got back on the air. A year later, we're still on. We're celebrating 2 years because we've been able to get the Jim Rome show, get ESPN radio and NFL football. So we're actually now celebrating thriving, but the guys here, we kind of have all decided we can't have another anniversary celebration until at least year 5, right?
Yeah, I think so, right? We're all day to day, but 5 sounds like a pretty good number. Scott, first of all, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I want to reiterate that I'm not on that station without you pushing hard to get me back on that station. So thank you very much for that. Hey, listen, I'm proud it's 2 years in. The station is a big time station and it's a great opportunity. But yeah, we're in this thing for the long run. So let's make sure that we get to year 5, and we got a lot to do between now and then for sure. But it's great to be back.
Yeah. Hey, Jim, I've noticed recently in my real life, I've got what I think I call now vacation guilt, where when I take a couple days off the air, I feel guilty for some reason. Like I got to hurry back. Like I'm not that important. Okay. But I am so impressed with the way you vacation. Even when I got the chance to host your show, which by the way, thank you very much for inviting me to do that. I said, Jim's on vacation because he gets a lot of vacation. He takes a lot of vacation. I kind of get a lot of vacation. I don't take a lot of vacation. When you go up to Wisconsin, which I followed your entire trip, I followed every post. Do you ever feel that way? Or can you comfortably relax?
No, I think that I get a lot of vacation. I take a lot of vacation because I get a lot of vacation, and they should give me more vacation.
Damn right, Jim.
Dude, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like when I first, right?
Damn right, Jim.
Preach. First of all, dude, thank you. I'm glad you guys get it. Thank you, dude, for hosting the show while I was gone. True or false? Did you show up here in shorts? Hey, listen, to each their own. You have your brand. You have your process. I'm here to tell you, dude, in my 30 years of being in this business, I have never once rocked shorts either on camera or off. Did you roll up into my house in shorts? True or false?
It is true.
That's balls, man. That is a big brass set. That is a bold swing, man.
Well, first of all, let's also talk about he made a deal with us of what he would actually wear on the show. He completely pulled out.
Oh yeah, so it was true, Jim.
Okay, what was the deal? What was supposed to happen?
Scott
Browner.
So we have shirts, sweaters that we sell that say Kaplan and Crew. They're available on our website because we got Pimp That Merch. You can relate. And then we were saying he was going to wear his CBS sports jacket because obviously to represent the brand. This man completely chickened out, went full white man tie and suit jacket, and here we are.
Okay, hold on.
Party on
corporate
on top.
Bitch. Corporate bitch selling out like that. Come on, man. That's great. That is awesome.
Well, here's what happened. I called JT the Brick, who had been filling in and hosting your show. And I said, Brick, can I just dress the way I dress every day on our show? I wear t-shirts. We're on TV every day. He's like, no, man.
Yes.
He's like, you have to show Jim his proper respect. My girlfriend said to me, if Jim Rome is allowing you to host his show, you show that man respect. You wear a collared shirt and a jacket. And I was. But it is true that in the middle of the show, I did tell everybody, TV professional up top, radio casual down below.
No, dude, my response to that, being Jim Rome, I can respond to that. My preference is that you look as schlocky and crappy as possible. Therefore, I look better. No, I mean, dude, here's the thing about this. I really respect that you guys want to respect the seat that you're in. I respect that JT said what JT said. But the fact of the matter is, anybody who sits in this chair is here for a reason. They've got their own brand. They've got their own point of view. I don't want somebody to come in here and try and do what I do. Well, first of all, one of me is one too many. And second of all, you're here because you're your own guy. So no, you don't need to dress that thing up. In fact, dress it down. Do you, dude. That's why I wanted you here, because I wanted you here. Do you always.
I'm going to do me better next time, I think.
There you go. Just know there won't be a next time.
I know, that was so presumptuous.
Listen, hey, I get a lot of vacation. Believe me, there will be a next time. I got to fill slots, yo. I got to fill slots. So to answer the question, do I feel guilty being away that long? Early in my career, I never even wanted to take a vacation because I felt like I never needed it, man. It's like a vacation from what? Talking sports, interviewing athletes. As I've gotten further along, what I found is it's good to get out of the grind because you come back better and stronger with a better perspective. So yeah, I took a hell of a lot of time, but let me tell you, my man, after 2 weeks, I'm ready to come back. I missed the routine. I missed the regimen. I missed the grind. I even missed the clones and some of their stupid tweets. Yeah, I'm ready to come back. So there is a tiny bit of guilt for sure, but notice I didn't come back early. I didn't give it back either. So there's that.
Yeah. I did follow, like I said, I followed all your Instagram posts, and I am so curious to see what you know about Wisconsin, because I think people in Southern California are like, Wisconsin for vacation? Are you crazy?
Right.
It's kind of like my daughter went to New Hampshire, and I love New Hampshire. I don't go very often. There are parts of Michigan where you have a lake, and you're like, wow, Michigan's amazing. So what is going on up in Wisconsin that got you up there and got you, so in love with that part of the country?
All right, so a short story is this. I met a guy named Matt Coleman, who is a Chicago guy. Coleman is like the coolest rich guy that I know. Like, he's a great, great guy, and he's really rich. But I met him in Montana where we used to have a house, and then he would say to me, you got to come to Eagle River, Wisconsin. You got to come here. You got to come here. And I would say, Coleman, why would I go there? We have the house in Montana. I love it. Well, I sold the house, and he said to me, all right, what's your excuse now? They asked me every single year. He's a San Diego guy too now. Every single year. And I kept going, yeah, I'm not doing that because I didn't, why the hell would I go to Wisconsin? Who wants to go to Wisconsin? And finally, my wife, Janet, says, I have run out of reasons and excuses. We have to go. I'm like, fine, let's get it over with and never go there ever again. Well, I finally get on a plane. I go to Eagle River, the Northwoods, Wisconsin. And I'm like, holy crap, this is the best place ever. Lake life, man. I'm in. So we bought a property, knocked down a house, built a house. It's just a whole different world. And by the way, you can relate to this, dude. The buck goes a lot farther in Wisconsin than it does in Cali or in most places. So we got a house on the lake. The kids love it. You want to have a place where everybody comes together because, like Janet, her biggest fear is the kids are going to leave. They're going to marry somebody else, and they'll never come see us ever again. So we better have a cool place for them to come to. So that's kind of what that is.
Yeah, dude, I love following it just because I like, to see your family life and, catching fish and drinking beer and who you're hanging with. I mean, it's just, you've built such an audience over the years that to let everybody in on your real life, it's like a lot of people might be like, damn, Jim, because I've talked to Jim Nantz about this. Like when Jim Nantz allows his house in Pebble Beach to be seen on TV, people are like, geez, Nantz got a crazy place. Dude, you've been working 30 years. You've been successful. You made some money. It's okay.
It's interesting. Like I never ever wanted to do that because, you want to be private, you want to be personal, and I understand there's like this desire to be let behind the curtain, behind the scenes, let them see. Also, because I've done it so long, yeah, I had a pretty nice house, but you don't want to be a douchebag and you don't want to flex. But dude, you're right. They want to see, like, the business has changed. They want to know what's going on behind the scenes. They want to see what you're doing. They're connected. So yeah, I've gotten much better at that. I don't want to be that guy. I don't know. You got to draw the line somewhere, right? But you got to let them in. They want to be in because worst part is then they don't give a damn and then they don't care and they don't want to be inside and then you got nothing.
Yeah.
So has
Yeah.
it gotten too personal because of the way that Twitter operates and the way that Instagram and TikTok and all these things operate? Has it gotten too personal for people within the business to be oversharing?
Yeah, I wonder about that. That's a great question. It's kind of like, where do you draw the line, right? I think there's some people that, well, first of all, they love it, and you got to feed the beast. You got to feed the beast. You got to feed the
Mhm.
beast. And I'm not saying that I'm afraid of work, but where do you draw the line? You gonna let them in your bedroom next? You gonna let them inside the house? I try to be more open to certain things. By the way, my life's not that exciting. I'd let you in and show you all this cool crap, but it's just not that exciting. There goes one of the AirPods. It's just not that exciting. That's been my whole thing. Like, let them in what? I do the show. I go home. I do some cardio. I have dinner with the family. I go to my office at night. I do some more prep. Maybe I'll go to the racetrack. Maybe we'll go to dinner. I'll have an adult beverage on Friday and Saturday. Hey, man, there ain't a whole lot going on that's super exciting. So I try and let them in a little bit, but they don't need to know everything, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually interesting you say this. I didn't know where we were going to go with this conversation, which is always the exciting part of it. I don't know if you saw this while you were away. Did you happen to read the story or gain exposure to the story in the LA Times that people are not listening to sports radio anymore? I don't know if you saw that or not.
I did
But
not. Go
essentially,
ahead.
yeah. So essentially, this writer says if you look at Boston and you look at New York and you look at Philadelphia, places where sports radio stations can literally be number one, they're like, well, how come they're so good in the East Coast, but out here in LA or in San Diego, but really more LA, nobody's listening to sports radio. And the reason that we know that is because of the ratings. And I said to the writer from the LA Times, I said, dude, if I needed to know about the newspaper business, I'd ask you. If you need to know something about the radio business, you should ask me. Because here's the thing, the metric that we use today is not just Nielsen ratings. It's how much engagement
That's
can
it.
we create on Twitter, on Instagram? How many YouTube followers do we have? And how many minutes are people watching on, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's not just about radio ratings anymore. It was a frustrating piece to read because it was a newspaper writer trying to go into space that he didn't understand.
I think that's rich. Somebody from the newspaper business saying that our business is dead.
Yeah, right.
And I'm not trying to pile on anybody in any business, but it's almost a loaded question. You're right. Like, for instance, we always talk about this. Who gets credit for what? What are they listening to exactly? What are they downloading exactly? Are they listening to the radio station? Are they getting it on a live stream? Are they getting it from a different platform? There's so many different ways for people to get content. Listen, I understand that the world is changing. It's no longer that brick and mortar world. When you and I broke in, Scott, it's not like when I first, you and I have talked about this. When I first started doing this, I had a radio show and then I went to a TV studio and I did that. And the world's changed dramatically. They get their content in different ways. But sometimes, to your point, it's really hard to measure exactly where and how they're getting that content. That's the big challenge. That's what we have to do in terms of feeding the beast. We add this content. What do we do with the content? How do we get it to as many people as possible in a timely manner? Because we know people are using different ways to get the information. I don't think it's cut and dried as, nobody cares about sports talk radio anymore. I would argue that I still have more than 200 stations that people do still care. They care a lot. They care about the stations you work for, and they're still listening to the radio. That thing is not dead.
Yep.
Not dead, not far, or far from not dead.
The idea that the way it's taken in has changed. Ironically, you've been at the top of this for so long, so you've had to monitor sports coming. Like, at one point, people thought NASCAR was going to pass baseball. And then they've been telling you for almost a decade or not more, soccer's going to pass baseball. When you see these sports coming up, do you think something will ever pierce the bubble of the top three? Well, obviously, that being football, basketball, and baseball.
Really interesting. You're right. You're right. We've seen this. First of all, nothing, I don't think, frankly, is ever going to pass football. I don't think anything's ever going to pass the NFL. Like, we've been waiting for the beautiful game to take over the entire world. Soccer's a beautiful game and kind of funny coming from me, but that hasn't really happened yet. But you're right. These things kind of come in ebbs and flows, right? NASCAR was really, really, really good at being fan friendly and promoting themselves. And it got really big for a while. But you know what? It didn't become the biggest thing in the world. I can remember when MMA, when UFC first became a thing. And even on my staff and within my business, we had to make a conscious decision. I'm an old school guy. I'm an older guy. Man, I came up with boxing. I love boxing. Me and my old man would go to the fights, watch the fights. I was a boxing guy through and through, but you can't be so dogmatic and so close-minded and stuff, right? And I'm watching MMA, and I didn't initially get it, but I'm like, this is big. This is really big. People love this. It'd be pretty naive not to learn it and study it and use it as content. So I threw in with it. I bet on it early on, and that was a good bet, right? Look at it right now. So in terms of will the big three change? I don't know, but I would never say never. You got to be really open-minded and flexible, and you got to change with the times. Otherwise, man, you know what happens? Pigs do get slaughtered. Dinosaurs do become extinct. And I'm trying to find a way to stay relevant and try and stay in front of things. You got to be open-minded because things do change, right?
Yeah, because to that end, we're talking to Jim Rome this afternoon. We're celebrating the 2-year anniversary of 1090 being back on the radio, but we're talking about the differences in this industry. And I know a lot of people who listen to sports radio, they love to hear this kind of insider behind-the-scenes talk. Jim, just to your point, though, you have 2 podcasts now, right? Like one is straight up for gambling, which, again, you talk about making a good bet, no pun intended, but if you're not thinking about gambling on sports talk radio or content related to gambling, we're going to miss out on the younger listeners, I think. I need to do a better job, way better job of getting more into gambling. But I think that's the other thing, though, is that you can be what you do. You can do what you do on radio, but then if you want to branch out, there's other avenues now, and your podcast is about business and inspiration. And now, could you tell us a little bit about the gambling podcast, also, which I understand is like really big?
Yeah, well, okay, I appreciate that. We actually have not dropped that yet, but the gambling podcast with me and James Kelly. James Kelly's a staffer on the program, and I laugh about this guy. This is a different cat now, James Kelly. I like to laugh that he's like functionally illiterate. The way this guy murders the English language, that anybody would ever let him on the radio, much less me, is amazing. But he's kind of like a savant. You know what I mean? He's really good at picking games, and he's kind of an eccentric guy and kind of a peculiar guy and kind of an odd guy. And yeah, I think he is functionally illiterate, but damn if this dude doesn't hit 60% with the NFL. Scott's like this, right? It hits me one day, and this is part of my reinvention project podcast and my gambling podcast. I'm just going, man. I'm grinding. I'm doing what I've always done. And then it hit me. Dude, doing what you've always done is not enough. I mean, yeah, I get credit for getting up every single morning and going hard and working, but doing what you've always done isn't going to get you anything new. You got to innovate. Now, at the same time, the show is the show, and I am who I am, but how do I innovate? Well, gambling is one way to do it, right? Gambling is enormous. Gambling is only going to get bigger. So if it's not going to be my complete brand, it's got to be a part of the brand, and you want to make sure that you're situated and positioned accordingly because people like doing it. And as it gets more and more legal in more and more states, it's going to be a bigger and bigger thing, and it's going to change the way we watch the games. It's going to change the way we talk about the games, and you better plant your flag somewhere because that's what people want. And by the way, it's interesting. It's different, man. It's always good to stretch and talk about something different. So I'm having a fun time with that. That pod has not started yet, but it's going to in a couple of weeks.
Okay, got it. I for whatever reason, because I wasn't trying to fake it like I'd listen to it. I just heard that it was a big deal for you. And so,
no, did you go with that? Just go with that. I'll go with that. It's enormous, dude. It's killing it. I'm getting about 8 million downloads on it every single week. It's the biggest thing ever, man. You're right.
In the meantime, by the way, I'm stealing right now, guys. We have to do more with gambling this football season, don't you guys think?
Yeah. If people want to hear me lose money, I'm all down.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Right.
That could happen.
Don't you guys think it's funny though? Like I was always that guy who kind of wore that on my sleeve. Like, yo, man, I don't need to have action on the game to love the game. I'm about the game. I love the game. I don't need action. It's the damnedest thing, man. You get a little action, and I'm not even talking about a lot of action. I'm talking about little action. You cannot believe how it changes the way you watch the game. I'm not saying that I need it to watch the game. I still love the game, but man, it changes the way you watch the game. It's wild.
If you put a little on it, you ain't turning it off in the third quarter when it's a blowout. If you put a little on
dude.
it,
hell
yeah,
no.
Yeah, right. You watch it different. You got a different intensity towards it. So I completely agree. If you put
it's
some
the
money
same
on
thing.
the game,
Same thing with fantasy football. That's why it blew up so much. You're watching,
Yes.
you're watching Jaguars
Yes.
Panthers to see what DJ Moore does, and that's it. That's all you care about. Yeah.
Dude, you know what's funny? Dude, by the way, I love that setup. Looking good, bro. I love that
No,
setup.
thank you.
You know, the thing about it is that the fantasy football thing is great too, because, right, like the players hate it because, you know, all the morons will hit them up on social like, hey, man, you cost me. Like the player cares, right? But the thing that always fascinated me about fantasy football is suddenly you no longer have a favorite team. You know, your whole life, you're all about the Jets, you're about the Giants or the Chargers or the Rams. Man, your favorite team is not that. Your favorite team is your fantasy team.
Dude.
And I've always understood that. So I think that the thing about gambling too, because people have come up in this fantasy generation, they're ready for gambling and they're ready for in-game gambling and prop bets, man. It really is changing everything. And all of a sudden, a game that you probably didn't care about after the start of the second half, you're locked in until the very end of the game. That's not a bad thing. I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
Yeah.
Is this the most educated fans have ever been, in your opinion?
I think from a gambling standpoint, yes, you have to be, right? Because the stakes are so high right now and it's so hard to win. You better be educated or you're going to get your ass kicked. I mean, like this is what we do for a living, right? And I still get my ass kicked. I think the fans are more and more educated because they have more and more access to information. And I think that they're more and more emotional. I'd even argue they're even angrier on some level. But yeah, I think that they're all in. It's technology, it's time, it's access to information. So yes, I think they're more knowledgeable, and I think they're more angry, and I think they're more emotional.
Jimmy, we
Which
got to
is good,
hustle.
right?
And,
Good for
yeah,
us.
it is good. It is. It's great for us.
Don't
and
ask
we
the
see
LA
that.
Times that.
Well, we see that, right? Don't tell the LA Times that. But we see it. I mean, just this week with the Tatis story, our numbers on YouTube have gone through the roof this week. Hey, I know we've taken a lot of your time. We could keep this going for hours, I'm sure. Hope to see you at Del Mar before the summer ends. And until next time, thanks for still being with us here on 1090.
Dude, fellas, I can't say how much it means to me that you guys pick me up, have me back on the program. Scott, sincerely from me to you, I really do appreciate you helping get me back on that station. It's very, very important for me to be in that market. Much love and respect to all you fellas. You guys are doing a great job, and I appreciate you having me back on.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
The Rich Eisen Show airs Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. An engaging blend of insightful football expertise with an offbeat mix of humor and pop culture while continuing to attract the most recognizable names in sports and entertainment. Only on the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Please welcome 4 of the 5 San Diego County Teachers of the Year from the 2021-2022 school year. From Central Elementary School, Laura Reyes. From Westville High School, Tiffany Jokers. From San Jose Elementary School, Jacqueline Jordan. And from St. Joe Southwest Middle School, Todd Sanders. Teachers, please deliver the pitch. San Diego County Teachers of the Year with their honorary pitch.
The 2022 San Diego Loyal season continues. Live on Your View and YourView.com. Watch the San Diego Loyal take on the El Paso Locomotive FC Saturday, August 20th at 6:30 p.m. Support the San Diego Loyal as they continue their bid for the 2022 USL Championship. El Paso Locomotive FC versus the San Diego Loyal, Saturday at 6:30 on Your View.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Locally owned and operated, not some bland, uninspired, corporate, cookie-cutter radio station crap. We simply say to those stations, Q. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Kaplan and Crew tonight presents Let's Talk Hookup.
Hi, this is Pete Gray with this week's Fish Report, and I just returned from a fantastic trip to Queen Charlotte Safaris on Queen Charlotte Islands up in British Columbia. Fantastic place. Lingcod fishing off the charts. Lots of big lingcod and plenty of them. The Canadian limits are very, very generous. Also, king salmon fishing, amazing big fish up there, and lots of them. It's so much fun. The boats are great. We also had great halibut fishing too, and we had a nice group of 24 up there that absolutely dined on gourmet meals from Chef John at the lodge. And Valerie, that owns Queen Charlotte Safaris, what an amazing hostess she is. And she made sure everybody was happy, accommodations, and the place is stunningly beautiful. So I would highly recommend a trip to Queen Charlotte Safaris, qcsafaris.com. And for more information, check out this week's Let's Talk Hookup. We're going to have a couple of great shows Saturday and Sunday morning for you on the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio and the Let's Talk Hookup app. And we'll see you then.
Let's Talk Hookup airs on the Mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio Saturday and Sunday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
What's going on to all the great friends that watch the show on television here on Cox Your View? What you're about to see will never be heard on radio, won't be seen on YouTube, no audio podcast. This is just for you here on Cox Your View. Hey to all the great friends out there that watch on Cox Your View. You might be in San Diego, Orange County, LA, Santa Barbara. We're happy to have everybody here. What we love to do in this time is it's a Cox exclusive. This is stuff you're only going to see here on Cox. Not going to hear this on radio on 1090, not going to see it on our YouTube channel, not going to hear it on any of the audio podcast platforms. This is just for you guys that watch on Cox Your View. A really big show coming to the Scottish Rites Event Center in Mission Valley in San Diego. If you love trading sports memorabilia or buying or selling, this is going to be the place for you. It's coming up on August 6th and 7th. And here's the guy running the entire operation. Here's Joe Oliveri, known to his friends as Joe O from SD Collectibles, who's running this show. Hey, Joe, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, Scott. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. Let's talk about this. Tell us about why people need to know about your show, SD Collectibles, on August 6th and 7th.
Well, we have a great show coming up August 6th and 7th at the Scottish Rite Event Center, like you had mentioned, right there in Mission Valley. We have over 130 tables that'll be at this show. We also have Paul Lowe signing autographs on Saturday. We have Steve Garvey and Raleigh Fingers, which will be there on Sunday doing in-person autographs. We just have a really great collection of some of the biggest and best of the community, the card collecting community, coming out there August 6th and 7th, showing their cards, showing their collectibles. There'll be a lot of memorabilia out there. And really what we look at it as is something for every collector.
Yeah, when you say every collector, is it, from what I understand, and looking at the website, sdcollectibles.com, it's not just purely sports cards. Is that right?
That's correct, Scott. We have sports cards, memorabilia, autographed items, quite a few unique autographed items and memorabilia. But we also have Pokemon, a large selection of Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering. There'll be vendors there that have comic books. As I mentioned, there's several autograph signers that will be there. We also have JSA, which will be on site for both Saturday and Sunday, doing in-person authentication, same-day services.
Well, that's awesome because for me, the one thing I know I'm most interested in, and I know a lot of people who are watching right now have the same thing. If you've got a piece of sports memorabilia that you are willing to part with, but you don't have authentication, like I have this Marshall Faulk football, the year that he broke the record where he was over 1,000 yards rushing and receiving for the Rams in 2000. I've also got this basketball sitting right here that is signed by every Los Angeles Laker of the 2002 World Championship team. So Shaq, Kobe, Phil Jackson. I don't really honestly know if they're authentic. I think they are. It's just I don't have the paperwork. So I can bring this stuff to your show and get it authenticated on site. Is that right?
That's correct. You can bring your autographed items, whether it's memorabilia such as those basketballs, footballs, baseballs, bats, cards, photos. You can bring them right to the show Saturday or Sunday. Stop by the JSA booth. Chris would be happy to help you there. He'll be on site with his team, and they can authenticate different items that you have that have autographs so that you can find out, one, if it's real, and two, it just gives it that much more value when it is authenticated.
What if I get it authenticated and I want to sell it? Is there a way for a private person like myself? I say private, I mean, like, I'm not in the business. Can I sell this stuff?
Yeah, you sure can. There's a couple different ways to do that. I mean, obviously, there's some online ways to do that take a lot of time and a whole different set of really procedures. But one of the great things that you can do, we have tables available and we have options for everyone. We do have some vendor tables available, 6, 8, and 12-foot tables. You can bring your items down there to sell. You can bring your cards, your memorabilia, and so on. If you have some memorabilia items like you're showing there, Scott, you can get them authenticated right at JSA, bring them over to your table, and you can put them out there for all of the attendees to see and see if you can make a deal on selling it or possibly trading it for something that you have a little more interest in.
All right. Well, while you're talking, I know Alex is putting up on the screen for everybody the website. It's sdcollectibles.com, sdcollectibles.com. Information about where, when, who's going to be there signing autographs, how you can get authenticated, how you can buy a table and space if you want to sell your own collection. Joe, this is going to be a fun show. This is going to be really cool. Give us any final thoughts, things you need people to know before you roll.
Well, one of the great things is it's a family-friendly event. When you come to our shows, you'll see a lot of people, both the parents and the kids, showing them around because there's something for everyone. There's bargain boxes of cards that are anywhere from 50 cents to $1 up. And then if you're one of those bigger collectors that likes to find those unique cards, maybe those graded cards, those Gem Mint 10, there's going to be thousands and thousands of those on display, as well as what's called the trading card game, the TCG, with Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, and so on, comic books, as I mentioned, autographed memorabilia and such. If I could give a special thank you to some of those in our community that have helped support our event. Stacked Packs, big supporter and sponsor of our event. Poke Familia, J-Lo Collectibles, SD Sportsmen, and OC Dugout. Those folks really helped support our event, and they'll be at the show. So if you have an opportunity to come out and attend, come by and say hello to those folks that have vendor tables set up.
Joe, it sounds like it's going to be a great event on August 6th and 7th. The website is SD Collectibles, and we'll see you down there. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
The NFL lives here. If it's about the NFL, you found the right station. Join 1090 every Sunday during the NFL season for the exclusive SoCal home of not one, but 2 NFL games every Sunday during the season on the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Home of Guiding Hands helps San Diego community in that we're a resource for families. A lot of times when families first identify that their child, their loved one, might have an intellectual or developmental disabilities, they don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. And we're here to help guide people through that process, to show them what a thriving life their loved one can have. It's a passion I share, having a daughter with a disability.
I really love the place that I live at. Because of Home with Guiding Hands, I was able to move out of my parents' house and into a beautiful home that I love living in. And so like if you have an independent living service coordinator, they will help you like learn more about being independent, and they help guide you through different things. They've helped me with lots of encouragement and love. They've also given me an ILS worker who is an amazing person, and I love her so much. She's great. I could tell you the first, I think, week or so, I wasn't feeling very confident in myself. The first couple of nights, I was like, oh, this is scary. But I look back on it now, and I'm like, this is so easy.
Main Street Living celebrates diverse abilities in partnership with Home of Guiding Hands, supporting the special needs community for over 55 years.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Keep an eye on him.